So from my dark office, it's 11 p.m. on Thursday. Sorry for abandoning you guys for the last 2 weeks because I was too busy. Welcome to my channel. I'm Emre. I'm a concept artist and designer working for the video games industry, for video games and entertainment industry for the last 5 years professionally, plus 2 more years while I was studying and stuff. Yeah, I have an experience in Oculus. I have an experience in lots of VR industries, and like I also have worked with large companies such as Kitbash 3D. It's awesome to work with those guys, and I've also been working with Terraform studios for a while, and I'm sure in the future there will be coming more. And yeah, I enjoy being here, and thank you for being here as well. I have gotten off the rails a little bit because I was just about to turn on some music. I'll do that and I'll be right back. Alright. Yeah, today's playlist is from Dance with the Dead. I love that group. I love that band. So what we are going to cover tonight, this week, and probably on the next week as well. I will try to squish in as much as possible, and yeah, and maybe we'll get you guys covered for this week. It will be like a late post. Sorry about that. And next week, and in the coming weeks, we'll see what we will do. I have some plans, but I also would like to hear what you guys will suggest to see, because we are about to finish our first project after fucking 2 months of me jumping in and just working for like a few hours and just jump back out and just doing my actual work. So I barely had any time. Usually such projects shouldn't take that long. Anyone who is actually watching this video as a recruiter or like an art director, I have my reasons. Yeah, anyways, I'm not really prepared for today. I'll just be sharing my screen and we'll be talking about like what I have prepared for you guys this week. And I made a bit of a progress in our design. I didn't really record it, but I think I will explain. So let's go. And so, as you see over here, this model over here, I'm here in Blender right now. You're back in the OG as Blender after a long time, and it's good to be back. The design that you see over here originally was done in Gravity Sketch and a bit of work in Blender. It's loading right now. Yeah, it's loading the shaders. Yeah, I mean that's the design that you guys already know. It was already in the first videos. As you can see, like there's a lot of like rough spots that needed to be fixed. The wheels were not original wheels. They were placeholders. Everything else was quite a bit like rough, but still self-explanatory. And also you can see the actual sketch in the back. This guy over here. I still like this one. I think it still has some stuff that I will love to capture in the actual design, like the sharp lines and edgy design language. Still, I think we did cover it quite well in the and the latest design that I have just imported over here. Shader work, as you can see, is like very like broad. Actually, I didn't really jump into that because I just wanted to share you guys share that video with you guys, like the progress, like the design process of it, because like yeah, I think that's kind of important to showcase. I would like to increase the focal length a little bit. I think like larger focal length will cover the design better. When it's lower, there's a lot of like distance between you the observer and the design itself, so I always like try to use like a very high focal length, which is like 100 millimeters at this point. As you can see, like everything is being done in Fusion 360. The only thing that I have done differently this time when I imported it, which you can also probably see, like if you have watched the other recordings that I have done for the weapon, I have imported it after like a little bit of conversion in Moi 3D, which helped me to polygonize the triangulated mesh, so that I will edit the design easier in Blender, because triangulated meshes are like a pain in the ass to edit, and you cannot really do like edge loop selection, and yeah, it's not good. It's not also good for like importing into Unreal. So yeah, better to just convert into somehow into like a polygonal mesh. That's what I've done. I have imported it, and as you can see, it's kind of still rough around the edges, literally. Like these parts over here are basically unacceptable. They need to be fixed like ASAP if it needs to be in production. And also like, yeah, the design, like the polygons need to be simplified. But this is a concept art. We can't get away with such things. What I want to fix at the first and foremost was this area, because it was also like looking very rough, and I exported it as like a low poly design, so they needed a bit of a fix. The part that you see in the back over here, you might see something different. See these? There's like some building going on. The way that I've done it was still importing the polygonal mesh and like basically fixing it. Like what I have done was over here would be to was to just grab like some edges that are not actually working or not going anywhere, the vertices and stuff, and just grabbing them, double G, and moving them around, or like pressing C, and they will just go in the axis that you have selected. That's the way that I have fixed them. But also on the other hand, I basically just disabled clamp overlap, which shouldn't be done because it kind of fucks up some of the edges. Like I'm sure like the 3D artists out there are having a stroke right now. But for the concept art purposes, I will just wing it. Like if I enable the clamp overlap, let's see if it will work. It won't work. As you see over here, it's just clamping it to according to the smallest like connection between vertices and adjusts the other areas. That means that in some edges I have like some vertices that are not either connected or very close to each other. So if I disable clamp overlap, the edges basically just clash into each other and just create this like weird like intersection, but we don't see it in the current design, and I just want to get away with this. Sorry for the messy meshes, dear 3D artists, but yes. This part over here, I'm keeping it. I basically just moved this back over here, but apparently I did some some design changes, not design changes, but scale wise some changes, and like some parts were kind of like too chunky compared to like how we had in the actual design. So after I moved this over here, I kind of did a little bit of some changes in the sub-D mesh, but what I did was to retrofit the actual design onto this one. Some stuff that I have realized that actually have changed when I was modeling them in Fusion 360 was the wheelbase. The wheelbase have increased a lot. Like the axles have become wider compared to this. I honestly like this one's proportions better, but still, I think this still acceptable. This is still acceptable. Like if this was like a production that's really required me to change the wheelbase and just adjust it to this one, I'll probably go back to Fusion 360 and do the adjustments. One thing that we will probably cover today will be to sketch out some of the headlights details and taillight details. We'll see if I'll do it in Photoshop or in 3D. Usually I just jump in and just do it in 3D, but yeah, I'll see. I'll probably test the waters out a bit to see which one that I will feel more comfortable with, because I can easily just sketch them out in 3D by just using planes. So yeah, we'll see what I. Let's put that into our checklist for tonight. One thing that I might point out will be the surfacing. As you see here, we have a matte surface. I want to make it like matte because we already have like a very glossy surface down there, and having this difference will like add some interesting areas to the design itself. This part over here, the cover, I brought it back from this one. Did some small changes, added those zigzags and some edgy design language from the other actual design that we were aiming for. I was going to design it again, but yeah, I thought this would still work out, so I just want to go with it. You can see here the difference, like you can see what the clamp overlap can make a difference. See? Also, there's another bevel here. Like if I clamp overlap this overlap actually kind of fixes itself, but it gets rid of my overall edges. It's something that I might want to fix. But I have to explore like what's actually creating the problem over here. Let's see. Tonight's video can like take a while because I'm not prepared, as I mentioned before, and yeah, there will be a lot of me exploring stuff. I might edit some parts in Premiere. Depends on how much time I'll have, because I had a very busy day. I'm tired, and on Saturday I have a German exam. Yeah, integration progress. Yeah, I'm not really prepared for it, but we'll see. Yeah, it's kind of fixes over here, but I don't like this area at all. If you guys have any suggestions for it, I'm up for listening to you guys, because it's kind of like getting pretty much annoying over here. Like, is it the... No, it's not normals. I thought it was flip normals, but no, the flip normals are not a problem over here. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? It's here. Not face angle. It's this one. Yeah, it's probably this one. Face orientation. I can't see the face orientation. Interesting. Did I... Was it because... It's probably because of the changes that I've done in the UI, because I programmed some add-ons for this that will change the color of the material in the viewport depending on the material itself. Anyways, maybe I'll disable this. But yeah, there's a problem like that going on. I sometimes encounter that in my actual other designs as well. That might need some fixes. Like I should find a workaround for this. Maybe I can just solidify it like the other way around. That can be an easy fix. Perhaps it's clashing it to the inside, that's why. Yeah, it kind of works this way. Let me just move this as well and just do that fix as well over here. I hope everyone's week is going fine. Sorry for jumping very, very quickly onto this. I hope the week have treated you guys well. For me, it was quite busy as usual, but I think it will get better soon. It might give me some breathing time. I'm not really complaining though. I like working. I like being in exciting projects and big projects as well. It's fun. I'm both in big and small projects, and we are about to release a game as well. We are currently marketing part of it, and yeah, I'm also doing a lot of other stuff outside concept art for that project, and it teaches me a lot. I just like doing that. I like being hands-on on lots of stuff. It teaches me a lot about releasing a game and how fucking painful it is. Oh my god, it's like a smearing mess, you know. It's just can be, yeah. Still, I'm not complaining. It's fun. It's different. Just forces you to be hands-on in everything, and you see all the aspects of it. And yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah, and yeah, this is the actual this is where design has gone when I was not there, when you guys were not around. Yeah, so again, apologies for not updating you. Yeah, and let's see. So we got this, but this is how it looks like when it's rendered. I think it's looking fine. Part over here, it's kind of a mess, but it's a freaking mess that I don't even want to put my hands on it. I'll just get away with this, I think. From further away, it's looking fine. I want to also see how it will look like in Unreal. So next week we can try this one. As you probably also know, Unreal has released the 5.6 Especially I'm very interested seeing nanite foliage. Maybe we can do something with that. Maybe we can play around with it by adding the vehicle too. Because till the next week, we'll probably have like a bunch of progress on this, and yeah, it will be nice to see it in Unreal. So let's move on. Is there anything that I missed? I don't think so. So okay, then let's start working on the headlights and taillights. Aggressive look on design, and give some extra personality to the car, and yeah, it will add a little bit of more integrity to the environment, and it will make it somehow more relatable to the people who are looking at the car. So yeah, that's the actual goal on this, as pretty much like typical for every car out there. The layout, I kind of changed it a little bit for this case on Blender. I opened up another viewport layer down there so I can see it in real time, so I can see how the lights can interact with the headlight cover. And I have the 3D viewport up there. I didn't really clean up the inside of the headlights. Now that I look at it, maybe I should have done, because yeah, it was like a pain in the butt for me to adjust the depth, and it was clipping a lot. But in the end, it was the results weren't that bad. I was happy about it. Right now, I'm trying to capture some interesting shapes, because when we look at it from a front, this will be the main part that will first capture attention, because like the overall design we have is like pretty much like sterile, so this is gonna be the main part where people will just like see the design and they're like, oh fuck, this is that car. I wanted to give a lot more like depth in the design of this headlights. That reminded me of, what was it called? There was an Aston Martin. Let me find it quick. I think it was a Le Mans Hata car. And also like one of the models, which one was it? I think it was Vantage. That has similar taillights. They were like pushing further from the car to give this like feeling as if like it's like a trail left behind. I wanted to capture the same feeling in both headlights and taillights in this. As you see over here, there was like an issue and mirroring, but I kind of fixed that. My main focus at first, I timed myself like 30 minutes each for each face on this process. The headlights took me 1 hour. Tail lights were 30 minutes. And first 30 minutes for the headlights were just about blocking them in, just to get a general feeling. There was I could have done a first Photoshop pass on this, but I kind of found it easier for me to explore that idea in Blender, because like it's generally gives you a lot of like benefit to pixel pushing in 3D and then like very quickly building something out of them. I'm trying to capture I'm trying to fill up the bottom part because it was looking too empty, but it's too bulky right now, so I'll probably decrease the thickness of it a little bit, maybe just make it 2 parts so that it can illuminate the ground while it's driving. Well, when you think about it, it's not a manned vehicle, it's pretty much automated, but still it's good for visibility purposes. That's why having something that's interesting and in front of the car gives a lot of advantage to it in terms of the looks and functionality wise as well. I wonder if there is much to add into this, because everything was pretty much my gut feeling. And also pixel pushing. I was trying to add some beveling on a part. As you can see, I also doubled it so that I can have some depth there, because right now it was kind of looking too static for me. Yeah, as you can see, it was clipping around. I had to pull it back, but in the end it kind of worked out. It shouldn't be this way. Like I should have perhaps opened the nest and just covered that part with some new component. It's really nice to see it in real time over here, and it's not really impacting my performance because the size of the window is like quite small, and it's basically just real-time renders it for me. I'm sure there's a lot more things going on in the background if you design headlights, but for me it's mostly about the feeling. It's the first impression. Imagine seeing the car, especially before Audi R8 came out. The headlights weren't really that interesting, especially in the daylight, because there was no daylight like LEDs. I think Audi was the first one that incorporated that into their design, and then everything is shut off. That's why I love R8. And the point is, headlights used to be the main interest points, especially at night. But general silhouette of it was much more important during the day, because the insides were not really that interesting. There wasn't much to see. It was just some reflective surfaces. And then the daytime LEDs came out. I don't know what they're called. It's daylight lights, actually. DRL. DRLs came out, and personality-wise, everything has changed for the automotive industry, because it added an extra way to express the user and the car itself throughout the day. I think it was kind of groundbreaking. I'm still exploring some of the finishings on the headlights. I first pushed the bottom edge forward, but it was looking way too sharp, and I kind of felt like I was breaking the silhouette too much, so I decided to bring them back and just make them like straight surface in the front. We are about to finish our first pass on this. I'll now start working on detailing. As you can see, I'm playing around with the beveling over here because it was too chunky, and but the light reflects on it. I wonder, like, you probably can see it over here on the 3D viewport and the render viewport, that it was looking too like flat and like it was too edgy, and by adding those bevels, those parts kind of became much more interesting. I kind of left them that way because they were already working well when you put the headlight cover on. Also, what matters is the hierarchy of the lines, because they are like grills. So you basically see them like as a very thin layer. But if you put them like not hierarchical way, it might look way too cluttered. That's what I was trying to do over here, is to group them, like grouping values and grouping line weights a lot are important for everything, design and the art itself. I have some reference over there. I forgot to mention about those. I love Volvo. I think they have one of the greatest like DRLs out there, and I also love the overall headlight designs. I think Volvo designs are timeless. I think they work in everywhere. I also love the inside of this reference. Let me fire up my mirror and see which one it was. Wonder if it was written. Well, the mirror board is also shared, so you can also access it throughout the description. Is it called GT? I don't know what that is. I think it's Porsche. This might be Porsche. And we got several more. I forgot where these are coming from. But I love the chunky design of the one on the bottom left. This might be a good reference for the alternating vehicles. And I love the insides and how the reflective surfaces are interacting with the matte surfaces on the one that has GT written on it. Also, I think it's a very nice reference for the detailing. That's where I kept looking at when I was working on the details over here. I mean, they're not really that visible when you put a cover on, but you can totally feel it. So what I was doing here was to add some panel cuts and some insets, just so they will look a lot more interesting than how they were before. And instead of like directly putting an emissive on the headlights, I decided to grab the frontal parts and just copy and paste the face and put an emissive on it, like by extruding it inside as if there was like a light bulb. Although it's probably not that way when it comes to the cars right now, except for the DRLs. I think for the DRLs you can get a bit chunkier. By chunkier, I actually mean like stripe wise, like you can have like DRL stripes Of course, you cannot have like a whole chunk of light over there, but they usually just do the stripes, but they're kind of thick, so you can see it running around. And running around the surface of the headlights. Just like the one below there that I just put on. I think it looks very cool when I just turn them on. I wanted it to feel kind of aggressive, but something that you can trust. Like, it's not like it's coming for you to destroy you, you know, just like as if it's like coming from fucking Mad Max. But it will be like something that you would rely on when you look at it, but still it's kind of like on a mission, you know. Car is like, I'm here and I'm doing my job and I'm doing it well and you can trust me, but I do it very, very like aggressively when it's needed. I wanted it to have that sort of a feeling. I'm adding some complexity over here because they were still looking kind of chunky. These are going to be gloss. They don't really line up so well with the design, and I didn't really care about it that much. I just want to add those details there. If it was asked by the production to show those details, I'll probably do that. I'll probably do a call out. These are just some stylistic choices. These definitely weren't supposed to be there in real life. I was kind of referencing the reference on the way upper left that has exploration lines and stuff repeating. I like how they look. And this also kind of gives me this like futuristic feeling on the design, so I just want to keep them. This is mostly a stylistic choice, nothing like functional. I think we are nearing the end of the detailing of the headlights. I just want to capture the roughness of the one in the of the reference that is in the middle. It's not absolutely like there, just to have it. Right now we're on the taillights. Taillights are quite straightforward when you compare it with the headlights. I don't think they are that important for me, at least when I think about them. As a design detail, of course they are very important, but I cannot really compare them in terms of how much personality that they can bring to a car compared to what headlights do. But still, I just want to have something special there. So you'll probably see that right now how it's almost a continuous line coming from the inside. I'm moving outwards, and then I'll extrude it a little bit, just so it will have this feeling, like I mentioned how it was in the Aston Martin, that it might leave a trace behind, like, as if like that feeling, you know. I kind of find the headlights very abstract when it comes to their design. I like how everything kind of boils down to, of course, the functionality is there, like, of course, that you should really consider the placement of the elements, but how the feeling that it conveys is super important, I think. That's why I kind of find it almost like an abstract art. That's why I love playing around with them. As you can see here, I'm just extruding some lines and adding some bevels to them, and I'll also change the material in a moment. Yeah, this part is very quick. It's straightforward. I think it will be also a good way to practice. If you guys are interested, you can just play around with such things. It's fun. And it's not that overwhelming to design. I'm adding the LEDs inside now. I'm trying to inset. Yeah, but I will probably change them to red. Yes. I was trying to do something over here, but it was breaking the vector a lot, like the direction, so I decided to move them back again. We are nearing the end of the tail light designs right now. That is definitely extremely like unconventional way to fill the insides. I wasn't really thinking about it that much when I was working on it last night, because it was already like, what, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm trying to add a bit more complexity to the design here, but they were kind of clipping, so I'll probably get rid of some of them. And they were also looking weird in the shape, in terms of shape design. So yeah, I'll put the tail lights back on, tail light covers. Yeah, as you can see, they're kind of like clipping, so I'm getting rid of some of them. Also, the covers were looking too, like, yeah, I had to play around with it for now. So yeah, this is how it looks like right now. I also did some changes on the design. I'll probably share them with you now. And then, yeah, from here we will shoot off. So what we see over here is kind of altered version of what we had yesterday. As you can see, I added some panel cuts here, because it was looking way too simplistic to me. So yeah, this is almost the previous one, and we added some complexity to it by just cutting this part and then this part over here, this panel cut, and then up in front got some extra ones that's just continuous panel cut, goes to here and just completes the whole design, because yeah, it was looking way too empty to me. The also, like, one of the reasons why we are using panel cuts in this, of course it's not 100% functional, but benefits the design, because if we check this panel cut over here, our eye basically follows the whole line and just comes here and just continuously just slides on the side view of the car. Same thing can also apply here. As you can see, like, if this was white, like, imagine it as in the same material as this. Let's see. Yeah. Also, like, if you ignore the line as well, let's actually observe it from the previous one. Except for the upper part of the car, we don't see any sort of connection between the front and the back axle. So by adding that cut and by adding a different material over here, it kind of complete design. Going back. Yes, as you see, our eye just starts looking at it from like either here or around this bulk, the front axle, the front wheels, and the eye just follows it around this line. It just continues on the shoulder line. Same goes for the bottom part as well, but this also complements it with the color. So our eye just starts observing design from the left, continues with the same value over here, just comes in to the back part and makes this loop, just continues. Same thing has happened over here as well. It's the same mesh, but I added some modifiers to it. That's basically like some bevel and subdivision modifiers, and there's a lot of like creasing going on. I'll go back to the viewport. So as you can see over here, like there's some bevel weight changes. We can always play around with those to capture different feeling, but I just wanted to keep it as bulky but still flowy in terms of design language, just to have a consistent look in general. Also, I added like an extra panel cut over here just to complement the design, because it was looking way too simple, and this way it added some clues on the scale. Continue the back. This was already there. I also just applied the same thing over here too. Has a slight bit of upwards, like upwards movement here going on, but this I didn't really intentionally put them here, but I think they were a nice happy accident, so I decided to keep them. So yeah, the bottom part still just connects this way, but I'm not really 100% convinced on this. I might still do some changes, especially over here. For example, I applied the solidify modifier. It just makes things slightly more difficult for me to adjust now. Yeah, let me just adjust this as well. Also, I'm not happy about this curve here. Might need fixing, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, still not that great. Yeah, increased maybe. Can lower it. Oh, so slightly better, I guess. Maybe it's too edgy over here. I'm using this mirror. Let's add this first, and then yeah, slightly better, yes. Yeah, I think it looks better right now. Let's see how it is. And random mode. Yeah, we barely can see that part, but adds some complexity, which I like. So yeah, this is how the design currently looks like. Next part will be us doing some graphic design work. I took some screenshots and I also gathered some references too, and they are on Miro if you would like to see. And yeah, in the next video we will cover the graphic design. I think that will go short. I will probably spend like 30 minutes on that, and then we will immediately jump onto the texturing part. I want to do stuff as much as possible in parametric like nodes, but if we think forward in the future what we can do with the car, we will probably have to restructure everything in Unreal. But yeah, I think we will think about it when time comes, especially if you would like to play around with it in Unreal itself. I also have a surprise for you guys for the coming week. I'll be sharing you guys first storyboards of the teaser for the car. I was thinking about like maybe 30 seconds of short. We have the storyboards, but we don't have the previs yet. We'll probably figure that out as well in the coming weeks. But yeah, we are about to wrap the car up. I think we got only 1 week left, and then from there we will start thinking about the other stuff, just like the teaser video, which will probably go for a few weeks as well. But yeah, our main design is done. So next part is just gonna be us just wandering around in nature a little bit and just maybe playing around with some characters. So yeah, we'll see about that. So yeah, let me pause this recording over here and go back to the full screen. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. Oh my god, it's been almost 1 minute. Oh, no, not 1 minute. It's 1 hour. The whole recording. I'm also being editing the video on the side, but yeah, we currently have like almost 1 hour long video over here. So good luck to anyone who wants to watch this. I would like to put some timestamps actually. Maybe we can think about it, just so it will be easier for you guys to navigate. Yeah, as I mentioned before, next week we will do some graphic design on this, and then we will be playing around with the materials in the same week, and then from there we will shoot off to our previous shot for the trailer. It's not gonna be overly complex, I think, but I want to also experiment with some motion design stuff, which will be interesting to see, I think, because I'm not really that pro in motion design yet. Yeah, it will be interesting. We will do some After Effects work, I guess, especially like since we are going to be designing some graphic elements. We will also be doing some motion design stuff like assets in Unreal, in Illustrator, and we will pop them into After Effects, and then from there we will just keep polishing it. But yeah, those are next week's and the other week's concern. But for this week, we are freaking done. We are almost done with the car as well. Surprising. It's been like a freaking 2 months, and we are about to wrap it up finally. Yeah, and yeah, it's nice to see the whole progress in YouTube and share it with you guys, which we almost have like 100 people. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for joining me this week as well, and I will see you guys on the next week. Please like and subscribe, leave some comments, let me know what you think, let me know what you would like to see next time, and yeah, let's share some knowledge, and let's see how we can improve ourselves. So thank you all, and have a have a have a happy weekend. Here's a long weekend over here in Germany, especially on the Freiburg side. So wishing you guys a nice time. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.